Over the past few days, we've seen not only Disney cancel the UK premiere for Snow White, but also effectively cancel it, at least for the media in Hollywood, the LA premiere, when they announced, hey guys, we're going to do a big premiere for Snow White, just like we do for everything else, except there's not going to be any media, no video, no journalists, no nothing like that, because we don't want anyone asking questions to Gal Gadot or specifically to Rachel Zegler, because it's been a complete PR disaster. And now you have the Hollywood Reporter saying that effectively Disney just wants to get this shit over with. Maybe that's the right idea. They know it's going to flop. They know it's going to be a fucking failure. They should have known this for 2 years now, because that's how long we've been talking about it. But here we are. Inside Disney's Snow White troubles, they need to get this over with. Disney's live-action Snow White reboot starring Rachel Zegler and Gal Gadot seemed like a can't-miss project 5 years ago, but have some PR missteps combined with anti-woke outrage turned marketing the film into a poison apple. I would love to just come up with these little punny headliners. I would really like to do it. I would really like
poison apple.
The female skewing live action event pick, which remakes Walt Disney's cherished 1937 animated classic, has been under fire for years on social media due to a combination of the film's progressive creative decisions and star Rachel Zegler's controversial comments, while also suffering from culture war attacks that seem doggedly determined to torpedo the perceived woke film no matter what. As a result, Disney's handling the movie's rollout in some unique ways. Disney's taking next-level measures to stage manage the film's world premiere. While the event won't be scaled back, as some headlines claimed, no, this is exactly scaled back. Yeah, the premiere is going to still have a bunch of people there, but the media is not going to be allowed there for a very specific reason. The studio isn't allowing regular red carpet press to attend in order to prevent Zegler and Gal Gadot from answering questions on the spot. The studio's position is they opted for a more celebratory, family-friendly afternoon event to match the tone and target audience for the film. Weird, that's the same audience for Mufasa. You didn't do that for Mufasa, did you? Huh. Weird how that works. Snow White isn't the first major film to manage a red carpet like this. Warner Brothers did the same for The Flash because Ezra Miller was there, but Miller had been accused of several criminal acts, whereas Zegler simply generated social media blowback for comments ranging from criticizing the original film to slamming Donald Trump. Gadot, meanwhile, is a divisive figure on social media due to the Israeli actress speaking out in support of her native country since the terror attack by Hamas. After her appearance at the Oscars, a baseless rumor circulated the Wonder Woman star refused to present Best Documentary to a Palestinian film. Her reps say she was never asked. Yes, we know this. Rachel Zegler's being sent. You were right about this, Jay, in terms of them not appearing together. Rachel Zegler was sent to the other side of the world to appear in Japan, not to answer questions, but to sing, to go to Spain, not to answer questions, but to sing. And Gal Gadot has been making the media circle because they probably know Rachel Zegler can't help but say something stupid. So I got to give you your flowers there, Jay. You were right about that.
Yeah, and Gal Gadot. I know. Gal Gadot. She's definitely a seasoned veteran on handling media and questions and doing it professionally and not saying anything controversial, or at least for the most part. And so that's probably why they put her on that tour. And Rachel, now they released a video of Rachel singing in Spain at a castle, and that's all she did. So, but the damage has already been done. I mean, people could see it. I even think some of the predictions are coming. I don't know how true these are, but there's predictions coming in that this movie might not even hit 40 million on its opening. And these are just people making predictions.
I tend to think it's actually going to skew a little higher than that, like 53 million. I think it's going to skew a little higher than people expect. But even if it hits 60 or 70 million, it's going to be significantly down from Little Mermaid's opening, which went on to lose money for the company. And this film likely has a higher budget. So we should put that out there.
What's interesting is, they've got Snow White, supposed to be a big release for them. Disney quickly threw out something that a lot of people are actually liking in the Lilo and Stitch teaser trailer. You know, they kind of were like, hey, if you don't like Snow White, we got this coming up. This live action's on the way. And
Yeah,
it seemed like it was met with some positive reviews from people. So,
and we'll take a look at that trailer in a little bit here. I've never seen the Lilo and Stitch cartoon, so I don't know what insight I'll be able to offer, but we'll take a look and react to that in a little bit. That did release yesterday. But this is the ticket news, which is really funny. Even before the LA premiere news, however, there's a sense Disney is being a bit bashful about Snow White. One theater owner and a rival studio source says Disney's massive marketing machine has been uncharacteristically quiet until recently, noted advanced ticket sales didn't commence until Monday, less than 2 weeks before the film's release. They've been going through the motions on Snow White, all but saying we need to get this thing over with, an exhibition source tells THR. An advanced sales cycle less than 2 weeks just screams we have zero faith in this thing, and it couldn't come as a worse point when the industry's just trying to limp along until May. Then they talk about, some of the box office tracking. Snow White likely debuting 50 to 56 million domestically. If it comes in on the high end, it'd be somewhat on par with the Cinderella remake from 10 fucking years ago. But an exhibitor source worried unless there's a late-breaking surge of moviegoer interest, the opening might be more in line with Dumbo's 45 million debut.
That's where I heard the 45. Yeah. Okay. So it was but see that they don't even account for inflation with that, with Dumbo and all that.
Exactly. So. And let's take a look, right? It's a little bit of a smatter. Now, I'm looking at AMC Orlando Disney Springs. These are typically some of the highest grossing theaters for any of these Disney movies that come out.
And I got to say, at the AMC Disney Springs, it's a free place you could visit. They have nice restaurants there, but they already have a giant red carpet set up for Snow White. A giant place where you can go with your family and take pictures behind a huge picture of Rachel Zegler and a red carpet to walk in. They've got like Snow White stuff like playing on the wall to walk in. And I don't know what kind of popcorn bucket they're offering, but they have all that ready to go for the opening.
And that's something they typically do, right? They use that place to promo big Disney releases. And right now, if you go to some of these smaller theaters, right? If we look dine-in, delivery to seat, that's not typically going to be a massive, massive theater. You know what? Decent number of people there that are going to see that. What about right here, 8:30? I bet that's probably decently full as well. Yeah, not too bad for the premium format, dine and deliver to seat. Now let's go to the big theaters because there's several huge theaters here and Snow White's playing in several of them. Let's go to the 8 o'clock showing, shall we? How's this one doing, Jay? Maybe about 20, 25
We got plenty of
sold.
seats. Wait. Can you go back?
I can, yeah.
Who the freak bought like 15? Oh, there's the seats right in the middle. Who's those? Those the two couples sitting way over there on the left side.
Yeah, I don't know who picked that one.
I'm going to buy a seat right next to those people.
That's a dine-in. Here we go. This one. About 4 o'clock. What about 4 o'clock on the premiere day? Look at this. So
there's a couple solos in there. Those are probably bloggers.
Yeah, those are reviewers. That's Jay right there. So as you can see, it's not selling particularly well. I did want to go to something here because I saw an article over here, and we like the people over at that Park Place. Good people, met them several times. THR quickly edits comments about Snow White Dwarf controversy, reverses course to fit Disney's PR narrative. And I want to show you, there's been this constant reporting for the past 2 years that after those leaked set photos of those 7 Portland baristas, that Disney, they reshot this thing. They were originally going to do that. Then they decided to include CGI dwarves. And there was a report like that because that was I've been saying it's a fake report for 2 years at this point. That's originally what was in here in Hollywood Reporter. The production likewise cast a diverse group of actors of various size and gender to play the 7 dwarves, which was met with uproar and mockery from purists when set photos leaked. The characters were then reworked with CGI to appear like the dwarves from the original film. That's what it originally said in THR. They were then corrected. There was also this is what it says now. There were also erroneous reports regarding the seven dwarves. From the outset, Webb intended them to be CGI characters based on the 1937 film. Now, this article presents it as, oh, Disney's trying to cover up that they did these reshoots. I don't believe that's the case. I've never believed that's the case, and I've been saying this for forever. When these things first came out, it was reported that, because there was 7 of them with Jonathan in the front, that those must be the fill-ins for the 7 dwarves. However, the set photos looked kind of strange, right? When you have all of them here and then Snow White by herself with a big gap. I heard from somebody that worked on this film that these were called the bandits. And this is what I've been saying for 2 years at this point. We can go back to here. I think I've got the audio shared. This is from July 20th. I've heard some people say that there might be dwarves in addition to these bandits, but obviously they play a big role in saving Snow White and all these things. Who fucking knows? I know one thing. Disney's getting blasted by nearly everyone for this, including the very same people. Now, that was when I was talking about the bandits. The dwarves were still going to be in it. Here's another one from October 2023. I talked about in a couple of videos how I had somebody that said they're not necessarily replacements for the dwarves, but the bandits might end up getting more screen time. The dwarves still exist, but it's in a little bit different way. And this is our confirmation of the dwarves. I don't know if these were real people that they CGI enhanced. I don't know if they're full. Okay, so now, exactly like I said, and like I've been trying to tell people, because those were fake reports pushed by, like, that got in like the culture war sphere and started blasting out the Disney reshot, and they got rid of those guys. No, those people are in the movie. They're a different section of people. They're a different faction called the Bandits, led by Jonathan. Robert Meyer Burnett heard this. Trusted friend of mine has seen Snow White. A few comments. That early photo of the human hippies, they're in the film. They're bandits, and they interact with the dwarves. So I just want to shut this down like one time, finally. The reason that these people were there is not because they were intended to be the dwarves. They were a different faction. The dwarves were always going to be there, and they were always going to be CGI. So those were bullshit reports about those reshoots for that reason.
I'm going to take my flowers and give them back to you for calling this out first.
Thank you, Jay. And like, that's, you could kind of put 2 and 2 together. Like, of these were pickup shots. These are not the real actors, right? These are pickup shots. The space behind Snow White is supposed to be filled with the dwarves. That's like the purpose of this. That's why they shot it this way. A lot of erroneous reporting out there that did take off. But I'm glad that now Robert Meyer Burnett, that's what his friend who just saw it says, the bandits, these guys are still in the fucking movie. We'll know for ourselves in a week, I guess. But yes, this entire thing has been a fucking nightmare and a disaster. It's not selling well. And even Disney doesn't believe in it.
I don't believe it either.
Well, I don't believe in the movie.
I wonder if this is, could this be like the end of Rachel Zegler's, not career, but you think she'll just move on to like Broadway for a little while? Because I know she did that with Romeo and Juliet. Am I right about that? She went on Broadway. And she just started doing plays, because this could be like a way where other people are like, I don't want to deal with her. Like well, you see what happened with I almost said 7 whites. You see what happened with Snow White. Hey, I caught myself. I admitted my mistake. But it's like, it's a nightmare. This person is a nightmare to work with. She wrecked our film. The controversies all surround her. You know, and so it's just like, she doesn't really have a box office draw. Like you said, there was only one film that actually broke even of all the ones that she was in. And it seems like she's going into the more musical type roles, because she was in Shazam, but she wasn't a singer, you know?
Look, Rachel Zegler was discovered essentially by Steven Spielberg when he cast her out of nowhere from someone who was just making YouTube videos covering different songs and singing and stuff like that, when Steven Spielberg cast her for West Side Story, right? And that was, Steven Spielberg saw something, and like that immediately, like, it made her a name and made a bunch of other people start to cast her in things, right? This Disney Snow White thing, like, she was cast for this 3-4 years ago, whatever this was. So obviously, it's been about 2 years since we've seen Rachel Zegler embroiled in all this massive backlash. We've seen her have movies that came out that she was cast in before. I do think that there's going to be some people that decide to stay away from her for a while after this. What she wants to do, I don't know. I do think, as I've said multiple times, I think she has a great voice. I wouldn't be surprised if she does more stuff like that. But yeah, I think when it comes to big tentpole movies, I think people are going to stay away for a little while from her after all the controversy that she's drug up.
I agree. I agree. She'll probably just do musicals for a little while.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe she'll be like, I've matured, I've made some mistakes in my youth, and I'm ready to hit the big screen again. In Shazam 3.
I saw someone in the chat said, who cares if those reports were wrong about them? Because people make up things and they use it as ammunition in the culture war when it's fake, right? And it blows up and it gets clicks on all these things, but it's not true. It's not right. There's plenty of things to fucking actually nuke this movie over, but I don't like it when fake shit goes out there. And that, to me, was fake shit that people have been now repeating for 2 years to the point where Hollywood Reporter initially put it in before they were corrected. And yeah, so that always bugs me a little bit. I don't like fake shit. And so I try at least to report on the real shit. Now, every once in a while, I'll probably get tricked by something or some post or whatever. But when it comes to actually making those things up, I think it's bullshit.
We'll take this moment to say goodbye to our Snow White princess as she gets ready for her premiere.
She's singing in front of the castle in Spain here, right?
Spain, yeah. I think I heard one person clap.
I don't know how many people are even there.
Because it's very limited to like, okay, there's more than one. I take it back. I don't want to report fake stuff. There we go.
Oh, you had one person going a little extra.
Yeah. There it is.
And I do think, look, with everything being as terrible as it is for them, this is the right way to go. For them to just send Rachel Zegler around to do the performances, to do stuff like that and not have her answer any questions. I mean, it's bitch made, and I would love to get some more clips of Rachel Zegler. However, I think that's the right move for them PR-wise. Send Gal Gadot around, who is a professional and knows what she's doing, and shut Rachel Zegler the fuck up.
I agree.